All right, so Beyond Bars is a student-driven music and career skills program that is dedicated to interrupting the cycles of violence and incarceration while helping Philadelphia youth recognize their potential. Through the community-based programs across Philadelphia, they provide music production, instrumental performance, and music writing to help youth who have left shelters, trauma clinics, or witnessed gun violence have access to a safe place to express their emotions and realize their talents and potential. Once the young people realize their potential and join one of the programs, they receive career counseling, connect to other social services, and are given one-on-one opportunities with professionals in the music and production field. I should be joined by Matthew Kerr, co-founder of Beyond the Bars, and Dawn Frisby Byers from PA Humanities. Let me see. I have Dawn here. Hello.
How are you?
I am so good. Is Matthew joining us today?
He says he is. I know he had a program that ended at 2. So if we can give him another minute for him to transport himself from wherever the program was to his computer.
Okay. Veronica, are you working with Matthew? Veronica?
I'm working with the team, so I'm going to let them talk and share their story.
All right. Well, they're not here, so this is live radio. I don't have time I can't, so I'm going to talk to you, Donna, if you don't mind, and tell me your role in all of this so that I don't stop what I'm doing, okay? All right. So what is your role in all of this from PA Humanities?
I am the Director of Programs and Communications for PA Humanities, and we're really proud to be able to distribute money to organizations like Beyond the Bar for continuation of many of the good works that they're doing. We received part of money from the government's American Rescue Plan. All of the state humanities councils received money, and we did a competitive grant process, which we received 337 applications. We read them all, and people applied for money for growth and recovery using the tools of the humanities. And Beyond the Bar was one of the 92 organizations that we funded and will fund in this coming year.
Okay. And so while I'm waiting for Matthew. Tell me why you chose Beyond the Bars.
Well, Beyond the Bars, like a lot of organizations, have figured out how to use humanities, and by that we mean dialogue and conversation and reflection to really further their cause. So there's many ways that organizations like Beyond the Bars connect with their audience. And for Beyond the Bars, we were particularly impressed that it was a youth-serving organization and that the youth make up part of the planning of the organization. So it's not top-down as much as it is participatory with the youth. And they have a great reputation, and what they wanted to continue to do was intriguing and exciting, and we were really happy to be able to support that cause.
Okay, so it says here, to expand their reach in Philadelphia, Beyond the Bars received a $16,000 PA Sharp Sustaining the Humanities through American Rescue Program, as you discussed, right? And
yes.
With the support of this grant, the program will launch a mobile recording studio so they can engage with youth wherever they are, whether it's a group home. I'm hearing a lot of noise here.
So sorry, I'm actually at a clinic right now. My apologies. Nice to see everyone.
I assume you're Matthew Kerr?
Yes, so nice to see everybody. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you're quite welcome. So we're discussing you're launching a mobile recording studio. So I need you now to tell me about your program, because it is something that is intriguing to me. I have been in many schools with young people who are saying the violence is out of control amongst them, that there are the carjackings, they're actually purchasing guns for their own protection, not to cause to create crime. And so I am intrigued to figure out how you're going to take this now, and are you already into schools with this program?
Definitely. No, thank you so much for having us. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you quite well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Beyond the Bars, we started out as a music program just about 7 years ago in jails, actually. So we were teaching really, really talented young people who were being tried as adults over at PIC. And during that time, we taught way too many talented young people who said that we were their first music program. So we were working with these amazing, 16, 17-year-olds, seeing them grow and use music as like their medium for growth. But sadly, they were being tried as adults, right? So they were looking at 10, 20, 30 years. But they constantly said, man, I wish I had this before. And they would talk to us about a lot of things that they experienced in their adolescence, such as, homelessness, trauma, right? The exposure to physical violence. Give me 1 second. Exposure to physical violence, loss of a loved one. Sorry, I'm actually at a program right now. We just finished it. Great job, Marty. Thanks so much. But so we they experienced all of these things, but then they never had a music outlet. They never had a music program. And these were talented individuals. We had people who were better than me in like 3 weeks. And they kept saying, I wish I had this before. So what we did is we listened to our youth, and we branched out. We started running music programs in West Philly with, my co-director. We have an amazing group of community-based musicians and artists and leaders. My co-director's not here because he's actually building a music lab like the one you see behind me over at NOMO. Christopher Thornton, he's amazing. But so we started doing programs, and they were all youth-led and student-driven, kind of dictating our curriculum. How should this program be? And it was going great. But once again, we were thinking about, we want to make sure that there's as many accessible musical programs as possible, right? And when we were talking to our youth in jail, they said all these different things that they interacted with. They were at a shelter. They were at a trauma clinic. They were in diversion. They've been in foster care, right? There's so many different touch points where there wasn't music and there wasn't maybe that connection that was their outlet. So we believe that systemic problems, when we talk about gun violence, right? Gun violence isn't random, right? This is the accumulation of hundreds of years of systemic policies and oppression and economic divestment from our communities, right? And very systemically created. So to combat it, you need to be systemically combating it, right? Systemic problems need systemic solutions. And Beyond the Bars, we're a great music program, but like we know so many other amazing community programs that are doing such real work, and we want to figure out how can we connect? How can we just be connectors, right? So what we did is we started to build music labs and music programs throughout the city in youth shelters, trauma clinics, foster care. Right now, I'm at a children's trauma clinic right now. And what we want to do is create as many different accessible musical programs where youth are invited, not just into music, but into a larger community, right? And then once they're with us and, hey, music's my thing, I like it, then we can connect them with all the resources that they need. Not from us necessarily, right? Oh, you need shelter? We're partnered with YSI, Covenant House. We'll get you into a shelter, make sure you're all right? You need food? We'll partner you with the different food banks we're up with. You need counseling? We know some amazing social workers, amazing counselors, amazing trauma clinics, amazing programs that can be really helping you with that. And so basically, that's been our model. And so the mobile recording studio, and why we're so insanely grateful from PA Sharp, is kind of like the tip of the engagement for us, right? So right now we've built 19 music labs throughout the city, and by the end of the year, we'll have built 40, end of August, we'll have 40 music labs built. Like I said, my amazing co-director is literally building one right now. We have these 40 music labs throughout the city with partners, right? Whether that be all the things I just said, rec centers, after-school programs. We're at CB School for Youth in Foster Care, which is like a school. We're at LaGuardia, which is an Opportunities Network school. And then the mobile recording studio that PA Sharp is so incredibly, pivotal for that's going to be kind of like the tip of the engagement for us, where whether it be a community event, whether it be after a traumatic thing that happened in our community, such as a shooting, we want to have this mobile recording studio out there, engaging youth, engaging, amazing young people in our community, getting them into our programming, music and all that stuff, but really into our larger community of network. Community of resources, right?
All right, take a deep breath, Matthew. You are going 5 miles a minute, and you got it all out. Okay, so here's my question: how can young people access what it is that you have to give, or do you find them? Because as much as you're going to you have 19 music labs now across the city, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And you're planning to build more. I wonder if it is not lost upon you and the people who are doing the work that music is a right and a basic right in other school districts, and it's not happening for our young people, in the city of Philadelphia. So how can they access this, or do you find them?
Definitely, no, 100%. Music is a human right? And it's very much not been that way in Philadelphia, even though our city is so insanely full of the most talented artists. So we've kind of, our model is a little bit split. So one is we want the programs to kind of like easily find youth, right? So we're at places where they just end up. Like I said, whether that be a trauma clinic, a shelter, whatever. But we also want to be super accessible in our community. So we're also partnered with Parks and Rec. So as we speak tomorrow, my amazing co-director, Chris Thornton, which once again, we'd love to do another interview and he can be here. Because he's way better articulating things than me. What was I going to say? So like he's building one out at another rec center. That'll be our 4th rec center. So we want to activate all these spaces that are there. And of course, we love our schools. Like I'm a former high school history teacher. We want to have as many musical spaces that are very much accessible. Our end goal is that we want there to be like a recording studio darn near on every block, right? You don't have to go far. Our community is full of the most amazing leaders. Our communities are full of the most amazing youth. We just want to get the resources there, right? We just want to get the music labs, the music spaces, so that youth don't got to go far for it. They don't got to go on 2 buses and 3 trains, and they got another part of the city just to get that amazing music program that they deserve.
So Dawn, Frisby Byers, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Wow. So I'm looking at this. You gave $1.4 million.
Yes.
In recovery funds to 92 organizations?
Across the state. We are a statewide organization. So when we receive money from the federal government, we're not a state agency, but we work throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And we received 300, the thing, Andrea, was reading the 337 applications and paring it down to the 92 that we actually gave money to. But Matt's group, Beyond the Bars, is a great example, and there's so many others. There was so much need and so many good ideas that the people who did not get a grant this go around, it was painful to have to tell some people no. But the 92 have all been enthusiastic like Matt, so we're looking forward to working with them and seeing what they can use.
And $16,000 is real money. I'm in the process of reviewing some grants now, and you are absolutely right. It is not an easy process, right?
It is not.
There's so much need, and you want to help others, and some are inching out others because they had just a little bit more. So Matthew, when you recognized that you were getting this $16,000, my Lord, after you leapt for joy because it's real money, right? How are you going to then take this money when you do this mobile testing unit? In what other ways can the community support you to get more of these mobile testing labs up? Because we can't depend on PA Humanities for everything, right? This is a grant, but it also opens the door for you to have these kinds of interviews where other people or the other organizations may hear and say, this is a great idea. This will help to tackle gun violence in Philadelphia with our young people. I'm giving you the opportunity. You've got 7 minutes.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. I'm also happy to highlight other organizations. Once again, we believe it's all a communal thing. Yeah, so we're cool, but everyone that was just mentioned, Dawn, thank you so much for all that you do and what you've done for our state and our city. As far as this is an incredible amount of money, that with that, there's such a deep drive in us to make sure that every single one of those dollars has a large impact for our youth, right? That every single one of those dollars is an awesome musical opportunity that's going to lead to the next generation of awesome young leaders. And as far as sustaining it, exactly, so much of what we're trying to do is we're trying to literally, and when I say we, I mean all of our partners, everyone throughout our city, right? Like Beyond the Bars is playing our one part, but is trying to create this new system that then we can get data and impact and show that, hey, this stuff actually works. Because once again, this stuff, it's resources, and then it's gathering data and relationships and systems of support. Just as those systems divest from us, we want to create systems that support us. And so we really want to make sure that we're taking that money, we're taking so much, so it's so deeply seriously, investing it into our communities, and then getting the impact so that we can be really trying to make a blueprint. And when I say we, once again, all of the partners, all the orgs, everyone, that we can make this blueprint together to really show, hey, we talk about systemic problems, let's get these systemic solutions.
Yes, I love it. I want to thank you all. I need you to come back on so we can talk some more about this, because it fully aligns with the other work that I do outside of the radio station, which is working with young people. And the stories that I hear are heartbreaking Matthew and Dawn. I mean, just heartbreaking, right? And it's the babies that look like us, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes. We're not talking about 35 and 40-year-olds. We're talking about young people who would not even live to see the age of 20 because of the things that are going on out here. So something like this program that you're talking about, Matthew, is a lifesaver. I know it can't save everybody, right? But if we can save as many as we possibly can, Beyond the Bars seems like an amazing program for our young people. So congratulations on being one of the 92 recipients out of 337. And I know it's not easy to do. It's not an easy thing to accomplish. And you are absolutely right. Take it from me. You need to collect your data. You need to start gathering the data of how this is working, where you need extra help, where you can find more support, and also seek other organizations, nonprofit organizations who may be able to help you. I am going to throw out one suggestion, the Kellogg Foundation.
Thank you so much.
Definitely the Kellogg Foundation, because they're very interested in young people and working with them, and and supporting them in any way they can. And we often look at the foundations that are local to Philadelphia, but there are others around the country. And you have wonderful people like Don Frisby Byers, who found 46 people to review 337. I'm telling you, I'm reviewing some right now, Miss Byers, and I'm telling you, I go, yes, this is hard. You're talking about people's lives in your hands.
It really was.
Yes,
it really was a difficult decision, but we are very happy with our selection. Yes. And Matthew and his group and the other 91 organizations, we've actually, again, with data collection, we've actually established a learning network where they can learn from each other on their experiences with this grant and the growth and recovery. So we'll be checking in with them quarterly throughout the year to see how it's going. We're not just giving them the money and go away. We'll be checking in with them quarterly to see how is it going, and then we will issue a report at the end of the year on the impact that the money made.
Thank you. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
You are
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
This is
I really appreciate you.
You're welcome. We talk about the children all the time, and education and lifting up the community on this show. I don't know what everybody else is doing, but on this one, we want to make sure that young people are heard and lifted up. Matthew, how can we reach your organization if anybody wants to support you?
Of course, yeah. You can find us online at beyondthebarsmusic.org, and from there, you can students can sign up for programs. If there's an awesome artist or MC who wants to be teaching with us, we're always looking for great teachers. Any way to get involved, you can find it on our website at beyondthebarsmusic.org.
Beyond the Bars Music. I love this interview. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you so much, Andrea. Sorry.
You're so
welcome.
You. You're so welcome. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
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 Have a wonderful one, guys. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye. So just want to let you all know, again, that was the PA Humanities. They gave away, they announced today, not today, the press release was that the Pennsylvania Humanities announced $1.4 million in recovery funds to 92 Pennsylvania organizations called PA Sharp, Sustaining the Humanities through the American Rescue Plan. The initiative provides up to $20,000 in funding to strengthen and grow the humanities across the state. Grantees joined the new PA Sharp Learning Network, a statewide learning group that fosters resources sharing, networking, professional development, and mutual support. The humanities are on the ground, putting people first by making spaces for new voices, supporting meaningful learning experiences, and fostering healing and resiliency in communities of all sizes. Says the executive director of PA Humanities. PA Sharp further strengthens the essential work through network building, financial support, and reimagining the possibilities of the humanities across the state. So there's so much. Tiffany McIntyre said, a friend of mine, nonprofit, did not receive a grant. The grants are so competitive, Tiffany McIntyre, that I want you all to think about when you go to apply for a grant, really start asking people, what are the do's and don'ts? You know, what do I need to know when I'm applying for a grant? What specific things are they looking for that I need to be very specific about when I am applying for a grant? Just saying you're interested in doing something, just kind of throwing out a bunch of words is not going to help you. There are people who your heart and soul has to be in this in such a way that you will lose sleep trying to figure out, what is my budget? We need to know what your budget is. We need to know what you need to move going forward. And if you don't know, say, I don't know, but these are the things I was told that I would need in this line of work, you know, so that when people are granting you things, you can have it. I'm going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I think I have Johan. I certainly do. You are listening to The Source.